I'm Dana K. White. I'm the author of several books, including Decluttering at the Speed of Life. So I have a 5-step decluttering process that is designed to help me make progress and only progress, never a bigger mess, okay? Today I'm going to talk about applying that 5-step process to clothing. That's a question I get sometimes because it's like, wait a minute, clothes? Can you do the trash, easy stuff, declutter, blah, blah, blah? Can you do that with clothes? Yes, you can. Here's the thing. I use this process for any clutter situation that I have that I'm dealing with because it keeps me on track. I don't need to be reinventing the wheel. So I'm going to show you how to apply it to clothing, okay? But here's something that I think is important to say before we get started talking about clothing. I used to not understand that clothing could be clutter. I look back and think, how did I not know that? It was like a revelation to me because I thought clothing is useful. It is. We have to wear it. Really, please. I thought clothing was useful and so it couldn't be clutter. But then I realized as I worked on decluttering my house overall that clutter is anything that consistently gets out of control in my home. Clutter is anything that I have more of than I personally can handle, okay? Clothing absolutely can be clutter when you look at clutter that way, okay? All right, so let's talk about the 5-step process. The first step in this process is trash. Trash, when we're talking about clothing, is clothing that is damaged in some way to where I'm not gonna wear it. It can be a real hang up for a lot of us, and I have another video coming later talking about how to get rid of clothing that's actually trash, but let's just call it trash, okay? And for today's purposes, for anything in the trash step, I use a black trash bag so I can't see what I put in there and second guess it, and other people in my house can't see what I put in there. Anyway, I'm gonna throw away trash clothing. So here's an example of that. Here is a shirt that, y'all, if you design shirts for teenagers, for like youth retreats and things like that, maybe don't do white. I'm just saying. Anyway, but this one has some little like, you know, those, I don't know. It just has stains on it, okay? But here's the thing. I probably should have gotten rid of that the first time I realized there was a stain on it. I didn't. We're not going to worry about why. But I'm not going to worry about why. I'll say that. I'm not going to worry about why. But when I am going through clothing, saying I'm going to declutter clothing, having this trash step helps me go, oh, wait, yeah, that's trash. Why have I pulled it out and thought about wearing it, realized I wasn't going to wear it, and then for some reason stuck it in the dirty clothes or put it back in my closet, whatever. I'm just going to realize, yeah, this is trash. And having that step helps me identify that, okay? So damaged or whatever kinds of clothes that I'm not going to wear it because it is imperfect in some way. That's going to be my trash clothing. All right. So I'm going to get that out of this space. It's just a purposeful looking through my clothing and saying what in here is actually trash. Oh, that favorite sweater that really makes me mad that it has a big old rip in it or whatever that can't be repaired, blah, blah. That's trash. I had kept it in there out of hoping that it was just going to magically repair itself in the closet. Well, it never has. So I'm going to call it trash. I'm going to get it out of here. Okay. Step number 2 in the process is easy stuff. Easy stuff is anything that has an established home elsewhere in the house, but for whatever reason, it's here. I'm going to get that stuff out of here. Easy stuff for your closet or for some type of clothing area, drawers, whatever, might be clothes that belong to someone else in your family. It happens. It might be other stuff that's in this area that's like, how did this end up in my closet? This doesn't belong here. It might be something that you realize, oh, for some reason I hung my coat up in here, but we actually have a coat closet somewhere else. And that is where this coat should actually be. So I'm going to take it there because that gets stuff out of this space. Okay. And that's my goal because we want to have less in this space than we did when we started. That's the definition of decluttering success, is just stuff leaving the space and going to its final destination, trash, where it actually belongs, whatever. So we're getting stuff out, and with everything that leaves, I feel a little bit less overwhelmed and more able to deal with this stuff in this space. Okay. All right, the third step is where you're going to find a lot of clothing, and that is declutter. So I put this step in my 5-step process just to give myself permission to grab things and throw them in the donate box. Like, there's no questions that need to be asked. And a lot of times this is a really powerful step with clothing because it just makes me go, what in here needs to go? Okay, like no questions to ask, nothing to analyze, just literally like what needs to go in the donate box. So for example, when I asked myself what in here is duh, well, I went, well, this shirt that's, just thin enough that I would have to wear something under it. And because of the season that it is, I wouldn't want to wear anything under it because that would make me hot, and I don't like being hot. I'm recording this in the summer. I don't know when it's going to come out, but just so you know, if I'm sweating, that's why. Those types of things, when I go, oh, you know what? This is a perfectly great shirt. I choose not to wear it because the sleeves are weird. So like all these different things that I just go, I don't have to answer why it is that I'm getting rid of it. I'm just going ahead and using my instinct and asking myself the question, what in here needs to go? Okay, that I can get out of here. Now, I just want to tell you, these 3 steps are so important because with no emotions, okay, we've done trash, easy stuff, and duh. We remove a lot of stuff from your space with clothing. You can remove a ton of stuff easily, which helps you really make progress, which helps you feel less overwhelmed, which helps you keep going. So before you get to the point where you are asking yourself questions and really having to make some, what could be tough decisions, even though my questions take the emotions out of it, when I get to that point, I've already made a ton of progress. And this space is so much better than it was before. And I haven't made any bigger mess. That's the whole point of my thing. Things have either gone into the trash, they have gone to their home because their home was easy, I didn't have to think about it, or they have gone into the donate box. And so I could stop at this point. This space is better than it was before. That's great. Or I can keep going because I'm inspired to keep going and I feel less overwhelmed and like I can, okay? All right, so step 4. The other thing I want to say is you can use any step. Like if you say, I'm just going to do one thing, I'm going to look for declutter, great. Because there is no, I got to do this and then these 3 things to finish that. It's like, no, you're making progress with every single thing that you do. If you decide, I'm going to walk into my closet and just say, what in here is duh, and get rid of it, great. Okay, you've made progress. But following the 5 steps is how you fully finish decluttering a space, okay? All right, so step 4 is asking the 2 decluttering questions. It feels a little weird to ask yourself my first decluttering question, which is, if I needed this item, where would I look for it first? When you're in your closet with clothes and you're like, what? But all clothes go in the closet. Go ahead and ask yourself, because you can work through that super quickly, because maybe there's something that you've been looking for in your drawer, but for some reason at some point you hung it up and you're like, oh, wait, no, I would look for this in my drawer and I'm going to go take it there now. But the key thing with this question is the take it there now, all right? If you know me at all, you know that take it there now is like my number 1, solves so many of my clutter issues, okay? What I mean by that is when I ask myself the question, if I needed this item, where would I look for it first? Okay, not where should I look, but I'm not going to go into that right now, but where would I look for it first? When I answer that question on instinct, okay, literally the first place where I would look if I was going, where's this? Then I take it there now. That's what helps me. That's what allows me to declutter without making a bigger mess, to not make piles and things that I'm going to have to come back to later and get distracted, whatever. I take it there now. I deal with that item now. So with your clothing, even though you're saying, oh, where would I look for this first? Let's say it's something that you're picking up off of, like a shelf or something in your closet. And you pick it up and you go, okay, where would I look for this first? Well, I would look for it hung up. Okay. And then you realize, oh, so for example, I have this jacket that I ordered off of ThredUp, which I love ThredUp. But I didn't realize, I know they say these things in their descriptions, but obviously I did not check. It has to be hand washed. Like I didn't realize it was like wool and all of that. And so it's just been sitting. Like, I don't want to wear it because it came from ThredUp, which is used stuff. And y'all do what you want. I can't wear it unless I wash it. But then I didn't want to wash it because it was hand wash only. And so it's been sitting there. And so with the take it there now, what that does is it makes me go, Dana, you have to deal with this now. If you're going to keep this, you have to deal with it right now, because that is how we declutter without making a bigger mess, without just making piles and things to deal with later. If I'm going to keep this, I have to deal with it now. So that means if I really love this thing enough, I need to go start the hand washing process, whether that's ordering some woolite or whatever you need to do that, whether it's reading the directions, whether it's watching a YouTube video on how to hand wash something that's wool, I don't know. But if I really want to keep this, I have to deal with it right now. That's the take it there now. And when that's part of the process, it makes me realize I don't want to do that. I'm probably never going to want to do that. So I'm going to stick it in the donate box. Okay. It was clean enough that ThredUp sold it to me. So it's clean enough for me to donate. I don't want to be the one to actually deal with it and do what needs to be done. And maybe somebody else will be like, fine, this smells fine, so I'm going to wear it. Whatever. I don't care. The reality is I'm not willing to do what needs to be done right now. And this is my time where I am dealing with this stuff. I'm not going to put this pressure on future me. Someday I'm going to, really deal with it. I'm just going to go ahead and let that make my decision. I'm not willing to take it there now, so it needs to go in the donate box. Then asking yourself the question, go ahead and ask it. Sometimes, okay, so in a normal decluttering project, you don't have to ask the second decluttering question if you have an answer to the first one because you've already taken it there now. But with clothing, go ahead and ask yourself, if I needed this item, would it ever occur to me that I already had one? If I needed a formal black dress, would it occur to me that I already had one? Whatever it is, if I needed this type of item, would it ever occur to me that I already had one? Or would I head out to the store and go shopping for it? And that's where I make the decision that I'm going to stick it in the donate box. If it would never occur to me that I already had this, I'm going to go ahead and stick it in the donate box. Okay. That one is a little bit like, oh, but now I remember I have it. It has a place in my home. Keep it if you want, but you can use that question to help you get rid of more stuff and be realistic about what you would go looking for in your clothing. All right. Okay. So the final step in the 5-step decluttering process is make it fit. That does not mean shove everything in. Okay, that is not what that means. What it means is embracing the reality of the space that you have in a way that makes that space usable for you. Okay, get to ability is key. So this is the greatest step when it comes to clothing. But that doesn't mean the first 4 steps aren't important. The first 4 steps are great because you've already gotten stuff out that doesn't even need to be dealt with. At this point in the process, you are down to only things that you would look for in this space, okay? The first part, there's 2 parts to the 5th step, okay? The first part of this step is consolidate. Put like things together. This is everything with clothing, okay? I mean, like, this is hugely helpful with clothing. Put your black skirts together. Put your black tops together. Put your flowered dresses together. Put whatever. Just the act of doing that is probably going to reveal things that actually are does, okay? Because it forces you to look at and touch every single thing because you're putting all the like things together, okay? So consolidating is part of the process. For example, when I consolidated, I realized, oh, I've actually got 2 black suit jackets that I wear with like jeans or something. I like both of them. Hadn't really occurred to me on a regular basis when I wasn't dealing with clothing that, oh, I've got 2 of those. Somehow I ended up with 2. And when I realized that as I'm consolidating and putting them next to each other, then it naturally reveals to me, oh, wait, that's right. One of these has itchy shoulders because I bought it used and somehow somebody else had taken out the shoulder pads and then they didn't sew it up and it was itchy. And I'm like, well, I could probably fix, I don't need 2. They're actually very, very similar in how they look, how they're cut. I feel good in both of them, except that one of them has itchy shoulders. And so when I look at it that way, I'm like, oh, I can get rid of the one with itchy shoulders. I did put it in the donate box. I debated, but somebody else can fix that. And somebody else might not be as itchy prone as I am. Anyway, but I put that one in the donate box because when I know that I have 2, then I can get rid of the one that I like less, and it's not difficult emotionally to me. Where before I was like, oh, when certain types of things, I like to wear that black jacket. And in my mind, I just had one and it had itchy shoulders. And oh, well, it's worth it because I feel cute in that thing. And so I didn't really worry about it. But then when I realized I have two, I'm like, oh, one of these doesn't have itchy shoulders. I'm going to keep that one and get rid of the itchy shoulder one. Okay, got it. So consolidating will help you do that. It also just helps you go, wait a minute, I did not realize I had 5 pairs of black dress pants. Those of you in England think trousers, okay? Dress pants, dress underwear. Anyway, I did not realize I had 5 pairs of black trousers for, like looking nice-ish. And when I put them all together, then I realized, oh yeah, I don't actually need 5 pairs of black trousers, pants, whatever. And when they're all together, I go, these are the ones that I like. These are the ones that I'm hoping to find when I go looking for black trousers. It's the ones where the ankle looks correct. This one, the ankle looks a little bit funny. So I can get rid of these 3 pairs and just keep the 2, or get rid of all of them except one. I don't care. But do you see what I'm saying? It just naturally reveals, oh, wait, these things are actually duh, but they didn't register as duh until I had them consolidated and put them all together. Got it? Okay. But there's less to consolidate because I already got a layer of duh clutter out of here. And then the final part of the process, which is the second part of the 5th step, make it fit, okay, is to embrace the realities of the space that I have. If at this point my closet is still crammed and tight, I need to get stuff out of here. I need to pull things out until I get to the point where it fits comfortably, easily, get-to-ably. If I still would have to do a lot of to be able to get something out of there, it's too full. I need to be able to get something out easily and quickly and put something away easily and quickly, okay? So at this point, I just pull out my least favorite stuff until it fits comfortably, okay? That's embracing the realities of the space that I have. I can only keep what will fit easily and usably in this space. And if I try to keep more than that, then there's no hope of this space being under control, okay? So I'm just gonna pull out my least favorites until what I have left fits easily and usably, okay? If you would like a copy of the 5 steps, you can go to aslobcomesclean.com/5, F-I-V-E. You can sign up for my newsletter there and get a printable with the 5 steps. But know that the 5 steps are also in Organizing for the Rest of Us with pictures showing how it works in general decluttering. And they are in Decluttering at the Speed of Life with a chapter specifically on clothing, talking you through using this process to declutter clothing. Okay, I will talk to y'all next week. Bye.